very good morning to you, and thanks for joining us for Front Page Review this morning. My name is Nyam Gul Akaji. Show is bring you the headlines for the day and wait for you to give us your opinion on any of the headlines that you think is more pricey to you. The usual thing we do is down the headlines, then run Rufai Oseni, then take our guests, and then open our minds for you to talk. Let's try something new today. We're going to begin with Rufai Oseni. When we're done with that, we tell you more about the headlines. We're expecting Prince Tilaka to be a part of our show this morning to analyze some of these headlines. So let's go right away to join Rufai Oseni, and when we return, we'll give you the rest of the headlines. Stay with us.
Okay, I'm going to try out and break down a lot going on as regards this transmission of results real time, because I see that there's a lot of ignorance. In fact, some of this ignorance I hear even on this platform. At first, what people are asking for to make transmission of result mandatory, as opposed to what Section 60 says that you can do it at your discretion, is because if you make it mandatory, it cannot be made justiciable in court. What does justiciable mean? It means that you can take the evidence from the IRF portal and present it as an evidence in court. In the last election cycle, when they went to courts and people presented evidence from IRF portal, it could not be made justiciable because Section 60 of the Electoral laws says that the use of the IRF portal can be discretionary by INEC. And that's what caused the problem. And that's why, as against the lies, a lot of people lie that, the Peter Obi case, that the Peter Obi case was talking about the fact that you couldn't get, they couldn't get polling unit result sheets from every part because they didn't have adequate agents. No. What happened in the Peter Obi case was that the results on the IRF portal, Peter Obi demanded from INEC. So I see a lot of misinformation. A lot of people don't even understand the case. They don't even understand a lot of things, and some of the analysts just come to speak. Secondly, for those that say there's no network and they lie, that say a common bank transfer, go and check the bank transfer success rates. It's well over the pass mark. And most of the transfer that doesn't go through are reversed. This sheet, election result sheet that we're talking about, what's the size of this election result sheet? A lot of the analysts that come to speak here, they don't even know the size. The size of an average election result sheet is less than 700 kilobytes, not even up to 1 megabyte. Your 2G, 3G, even if it's in the worst place with coverage, will effectively transfer 700 kilobytes. In fact, in 2023 elections, so for those arguing blindly that we don't have a network everywhere, we shouldn't make it mandatory, it's a blind and daft argument. It's a very stupid argument. Because INEC themselves said they had over 94 to 95% success rate in transmission in the 2023 elections. Out of over 170,000 polling units for close to 170,000 were effectively transmitted. That's a pass rate, 94 to 95%. So for those that say, oh, network is not good enough, INEC has practicalized it in the last election. People forget that there was electronic transmission in the last election. How did we know that Peter Obi did well as against what they said in Rivers? The transmission was successful, save for the technical glitch, which INEC cannot tell us the reason why, which only happened in the presidential election because of some shenanigan that INEC has not told us. But it was a successful process. But the only thing is, now when they go to court, it could not be made justiciable because the court refers to section 60 that does not make it mandatory. They said INEC can use at the discretion. And that's why they still fell back to the result from the collation center. Because I see too much ignorance. A lot of people don't even know the subject matter. So INEC has already done the process. They saw that about 95% of the results were effectively transmitted in the last election cycle. That's just it. So people that are asking that, do other countries do real-time transmission? Kenya does real-time transmission for election tally. But all we are just saying is that they should make it mandatory so that the spirit of the law will be able to say that people can go and file cases in court and take what they see on IRF as evidence. Currently, it cannot be done now because section 60 does not make it mandatory. Another lie, they lie that is because Peter Obi does not have enough agents. That's another lie. I know people that did data for the political party that emerged winner. All their agents on the field could not produce up to 20,000 results or 50,000 results across the country under election conditions. And for people that are making the blind argument that he must have polling agents in 176,000 polling, there are some polling units that see polling agents work for more than one political party. Nobody has the spread across board. So these are some of the lies again that they tell because they lack understanding. A lot of these people that speak have not managed elections. There are some agents that collect money from like 4 different political parties and they represent them. So nobody has all this. I'm telling you based on empirical data, there is no political party in the last election that have their result sheets up to 30,000 EC8A forms that they got from the polling units and they can have it in their archives. And that's why the IRF is deemed as the proper collation center for everybody. And that's why people are pushing for the IRF. I need to take out time to explain this because there's been a lot of misinformation. And I see people proudly talk in their ignorance. And they call themselves analysts. There's a proud ignorance. And that's what I'm taking out today to explain this. And that's why I see what we are saying is make section 60 justiciable, make it mandatory, so that any result of what was uploaded on the IRF polling units can be taken to court, and court will say, since it's made mandatory, is justiciable, we can now use it in courts. Because this is part of the ignorant people too were saying it was because Peter Obi could not get the polling unit results and everything. How many persons will get 176,000 sheets of paper and not polling units to deposit in courts? That's why a lot of people are looking at the IRF. And that's why the first thing after the election, before they filed their case, the opposition party, they went to the IRF. Because let me take you back. In 2019, the point Atiku was trying to make when they went to court was that, oh, there should be an INEC server to be able to verify. But the question of server was not justiciable then. And that's why for the transparency, INEC brought about the IRF. But in also making the electoral law, the politicians left a lacuna saying the use of the IRF should be discretionary, which it doesn't make it justiciable. So that's what they're trying to correct in section 60. So if you make it mandatory, it becomes justiciable in the courts. The court will be able to recognize it and say, okay, so if you are saying, I won the election, my evidence is based on what is on the IRF, I can accept it in courts. Currently, based on this last law, the evidence of what you won, if it's on the IRF and you bring it forward, it's not justiciable. Because it's discretionary. I hope some clarity has come. Like I was saying, it doesn't have those full powers. All right? Full powers. IRF can be used as corroborative evidence, but it doesn't carry legal weight. The main thing they will still say you should go and look for is those sheets of paper. But what we are saying here, and the whole argument we are making, is how to be able to make what is on that IRF, let it carry legal weights. Currently, it's not justiciable, doesn't carry that legal weight. That was the bone of contention of the last Supreme Court ruling on this matter. It doesn't carry that legal weights. And that's the argument we are making. So how we are going to make the same thing on the IRF carry that legal weights? That's the bone of contention about the section 60 that we've been talking about. Currently, when you check all the literature with courts, you can put it as corroborative evidence and all of that, but it doesn't carry legal weights. Court will not give you a judgment based on the result of the IRF. That's why I kept on saying it's not justiciable. When you look at it, the Supreme Court ruling expressly states that currently what we have based on the Electoral Act of 2022 that says INEC can use their discretion, the Supreme Court's interpretation confirms that electronic uploads are desirable, but are not legally binding on the validity of the results. So you cannot use them to judge an election results. And that's why we are saying that they should also be made mandatory in evidence, made justiciable, so that election results can be based on them. I had to take our time to explicitly explain the arguments during the show for you today, because I see a lot of ignorance and a lot of people are interpreting and analyzing wrongly. Wisdom is profitable to direct. So a couple of stories still making it around. So there was a protest today as regards this electoral bill that it should be signed into law. And see, let me tell you how hypocritical this current APC government is, and those that are saying they should not confirm electronic transmission. You know, they are very big hypocrites. And I know it, and that's why they can't stand, because me, I'm a master of empirical facts. And I do my research, and when I do my research and I bring out my empirical facts, it kills them. That's why they're always afraid to have arguments with me. Do you know this same APC that is talking against what's it called today? Is talking against electronic voting. Do you know this same APC, then ACN in 2013, canvassed for electronic voting? In fact, they were telling the government, Alhaji Lai Mohammed wrote a piece that the government must do electronic voting as of 2013. This was at 2013 that everything had not even developed yet to effectively in terms of communication and all of that, because they saw that it was only their path to winning election then. There's a story carried in the Nation newspaper, and I'm going to give you empirical facts. Go and look for it. As of January 13, 2013, ACN wants electronic voting in 2015 elections. In fact, Action Congress of Nigeria on Sunday said the country must use electronic voting in 2015 election in order to ensure the integrity of the election. The party also called for handover of elections back to Nigeria instead of the judiciary. ACN, in a statement signed by its National Publicity Secretary, Lai Mohammed, said electronic voting, the overall cost of election will be far less and there will be stability in the polity, and the atmosphere of war associated with electronic elections will disappear and the involvement of security agents will be de-emphasized. The question you should ask APC people today is that what changed? Is it because they are in power? The same people that wanted electronic voting for 2015 election because they were looking for every way to grab power from Jonathan. Today they are saying otherwise today. That's why I support the protest of Mr. Peter Obi. And I keep telling the opposition, you too, please do not be like these people when you get into power. Or if you peradventure win. Because that was how APC was very celebrated as an opposition. But once they got into power, they turned against the people that was with them. So please, this is another part of the empirical argument. Ask APC that that Rufai told you to ask them, as at January 13, 2013, in the Nation newspaper, didn't the ACN then, that later became APC, ask for electronic voting for the 2015 election? So ask them, what has changed today? As at 10 years ago, you didn't have a lot of development in technology like you have today. So ask them, what has changed today? Why is that if they wanted it so much over 10 years ago, they don't want it again today because they are now in power? So you can see these politicians, they are always in need for themselves. For them is to grab power. Once they grab power, they are okay. They don't care about the lots. Right? They don't care about the people. They don't care about you and I. For them is to grab power. And when they grab power, it's just about them. In fact, somebody wrote an article that if the government claims that there's no connectivity, they can deploy portable satellite uplinks, VSATs, mobile transmission hubs, dedicated election connectivity, priority bandwidth via telecom partnership. They do not require permanent infrastructure. These technologies are used globally. The real issue is not technology, it is legal compulsion. As long as live transmission is optional, there is no incentive to solve connectivity problems. That's just it. Once the law mandates electronic transmission, INEC will plan for it and budget for it. And that's the truth. Manual collation is at greater risk, introduces discretion, enables result alteration, creates flashpoint for violence, leads to endless litigation. Electronic transmission creates immutable digital trace, timestamp results, reduces human interference, builds trust. The risk is not technological, the risk is opacity, and they want the opacity so that things will not get better. Technology exists, expertise exists. So ask the APC that the same APC that as at 2013 wanted electronic transmission, Lai Mohammed asked for it for 2015 election. Why is that they don't want it again today? Is because of their hypocrisy. I will keep giving you detailed empirical arguments to buttress the point for making it mandatory for electronic transmission. Part of the research I've given you is this. Go and check the Nation newspaper. This is a paper owned by President Tinubu, so that they will not say it's opposition paper. The Nation newspaper is owned by President Tinubu. 2013. ACN, January 13, 2013, the Nation. ACN wants electronic voting in 2015. The same people, ACN then was called, it was called ACN before it was called APC, and Lai Mohammed. Why is it that they don't want it again today? I've just given you empirical data. will give you argument that they can't reply. We are waiting for their reply.
We're glad to know that you're still there and listening to us. It's Front Page Review, and my name is Nyamgul Agaji. I did promise you that we were going to have a change of system this morning. We first of all joined Rufai Oseni, and then now we're back to the headlines. Let's just go through the headlines, and then we are going to join Prince Chilaka, who will be x-raying some of these headlines for us this morning. On the Daily Trust newspaper, on the Daily Post newspaper, Electoral Act Amendment, Akpabio is the problem, Tinubu lapdog. That's according to El Rufai. Fuel price to drop nationwide as imported petrol price undercuts Dangote refineries rate. On the Nation newspaper, platform to connect doctors, patients debuts in Nigeria. We also have Tinubu will defeat this unacceptable terrorism and banditry. Okay, that's Defense Headquarters activates Operation Savannah Shield in Kwara State. I'm sure following the killing of over 100 people very recently. Banditry crisis. Federal government rejects Northern governor's call to suspend mining. That's on the Punch newspaper. That's a leading headline on the Punch newspaper. And while on the Daily Trust, appeal court affirms Natasha's suspension, and Nigeria gaining global recognition despite security challenges. That's according to Remi Tinubu. On the Sun newspaper, Electoral Act Amendment, Kuka Center, Yaga Africa, TAV, 4 other CSOs want reps version of Electoral Act. Then we move to the Vanguard newspaper. Vanguard newspaper leads with Electoral Act Amendment. Senate not averse to criticisms, will resolve issue today. That's according to spokesman. Remember that it's today that they are reconvening to talk about the electronic transmission of results, to be or not to be, because that is what the bone of contention is right now. They're talking about network not being in every place in Nigeria. NAFDAC uncovers death warehouse in Lagos. That might be a story you want to read. Grab a copy of the Vanguard newspaper. Recurring greed collapses, a national embarrassment. That's according to NEC chairman. And finally, on the Vanguard newspaper, CBN NCC proposed 30 minutes timeline for refund on failed airtime data purchases. Okay, so we're being joined in the house here with our Tuesday medicine. Prince Chilaka, good morning and welcome to the program. Good morning. Okay, all right. Now, let's begin with the electronic transmission of votes. El Rufai is just saying Akpabio is the problem, Tinubu's lapdog and all that. But they're going to reconvene today and talk about it. I'd like to just have your take.
Well, we're waiting to see what convening will be all about. I hope and pray that the National Assembly will do the right thing. They need to understand that they are employed by Nigerians. They survive on our money. They survive on our tax. They survive on our collective wealth. So they should be able to understand that you cannot be above your employer. It's a normal thing. So the National Assembly must be willing to subject itself to the desires of the Nigerian people.
But we have a peek into how the argument on the floor of the House might be, because they're talking about network and all that. So do you have any hope that it's going to be anything different from what they've already done?
If you're talking about network, let me be, because I know it's the Senate President that talked about it. Now let me take him up on that. If he goes to his When we used to have NEPA, not that I have PhD and all this close. When we used to have NEPA, they not go to the nook and cranny of Nigeria to distribute bill. So there's satellite phone. There are so many ways that INEC can actually empower those they're putting on the field to transmit the results. It mustn't be dependent on MTN and on the other networks. But they must be able to find a way around it. They have so much money. The last election, they had about 300 and something billion. They have about 1 point something trillion now. So they have enough money to do what they're supposed to do. I don't know why we just want to live in the old, in the stone age. We don't want to move forward. We should be forward looking.
Is it that we're not moving forward, or we just don't? I don't know what to say, because we are already there where we can use technology to our advantage, and then we're just decided that for certain things we cannot use this technology.
Yeah, well, for certain things when you don't want to use technology, it's evil, it's wickedness. It's just because some people feel that is the way, or that's the only way by which they can continue to remain in power. Like I keep saying, nobody, including you and I, would sit in a place where a law that will stop us from doing things illegally, which we have been involved in, involve. It's a simple.
Which means if we allow it, it will never happen, because these people will keep being the ones who are recycling. And anyone who comes into power with a system that is not agreeable to the people or that we don't like will want that system to continue.
See, let me tell you what the problem lies. The problem lies with you have governors who did not perform in their states, who were colossal failure in their states. They have no legacy, they have nothing to show for, and they go and retire in the Senate. So what kind of law do you think such people will make for you? What kind of law? All they have known in their life as governors was to steal from the people, to embezzle public funds. All they know is corruption. A governor that cannot build the road to his house in the village when he was a governor, is it when he becomes a senator that he'll be able to do it?
Well,
We know some governors who build, they say they build first-class hospital structures, but the hospitals are horrible, they're not functional. And then you expect such a person to go to the Senate and be different.
and some
Especially
people
in the Senate, where there's lack of accountability and transparency.
some people build flyovers where there are no cars at all.
Some are building airports where the citizens cannot afford ordinary bus to travel.
It's very and Nigerians seem to clap for the people who, according to them, have infrastructure to show. Infrastructure that may or may not even have any connection with the people who are in that place.
No, the problem we have in Nigeria is that we have been so battered by the political class that the people now sit back and hail and praise their oppressors. Because when you now start saying, no, this governor should have come from this, you still have people who the governor gives 5,000, 2,000, they'll come out and say, why are you disturbing him? So until Nigerians wake up from that slumber and realize that, look, any money you collect from a politician during campaigns is not up to what they will make in 1 month. So you collect 5,000 naira, which will last you for 4 years, and then they'll collect 1,500% of that on you. So Nigerians must realize Nigerians need to wake up and smell the coffee while it's still hot, and realize that, look, the only solution is for people to vote people with credibility and people who they know and believe can deliver. You see, when we're talking about this electoral deal and all of that, I was expecting that they will also add in that deal that if you decamp from party A to party B, you lose the position you had in party A.
Yeah, I feel
These
so
are the
too.
things we expect to see. This is what will strengthen our democracy. So when you wake up from sleep and you say you're a governor, you want to become to party B, automatically you're no longer a governor. But the politicians will not allow that. And the people are sheepishly supporting anything these politicians say to them.
Okay, so let's move to. I'm not laughing. Okay. Nigeria gaining global recognition despite security challenges. That's according to the First Lady Remi Tinubu. That's the headline.
See, I think the media too, they are not helping Nigerians. The things we should talk about, we don't talk about them. First of all, Remi Tinubu has no office. The constitution does not recognize the office of the First Lady. So she's just the wife of the president. And when you talk of international recognition, we're talking about that. Nobody's talking about the fact that, she was denied an interview.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about that. Is that part of recognition? You're talking about recognition when people are being slaughtered in their sleeps?
Yeah, they're capitalizing on the fact that she had a dinner with the president, even though that radio host said he didn't want to give a platform to them to come and deny the genocide and the killings in Nigeria. They didn't want that, but the president, no lesser person than the president, recognized the fact that this is the first lady and she's a good woman.
She recognized her as the wife of the president, and until we all as Nigerians come to that reality that there's nothing in our constitution that says office of the first lady. I mean, as a wife of a president, yes, I respect her so much. And the right thing for any reasonable man to do is respect a woman, which is normal, and that is what Donald Trump did. But outside of that, it's not. Her visit had no diplomatic ties. Her visit is not one that they will sit on the round table and begin to discuss about the future of Nigeria. I'm going to discuss about the insecurity in the land. She doesn't have that power to do that. So we need to understand these things and take it to heart. When you say international recognition, good. Nigeria is becoming famous for in a country where citizens are living in IDP camps. When we're not in a war zone. A country where you just every day we wake up from sleep. We're rushing to the newspaper to see which state was attacked, how many people have been killed, how many people have been kidnapped. That's the kind of recognition we're having.
Okay, these are some of the words. Let me just quote her. I am getting global recognition on all of this, and that is what life is all about. If something is going to be good, it starts from the rubble. Now we have all the attention and conversation going, and we are expecting it to yield better fruit for both the US and Nigeria. Now, on the claims of Christian genocide, she said, the government has been able to educate the US about the situation on ground.
Well, you educate the US and then you anti-ban an interview.
Maybe that's education.
What is the education?
They don't know as well as we do that there's no genocide, no killing in Nigeria.
You see, I've always said that the problem of Nigeria is more religious than ethical. Those some of the people we call men of God and pastors, they are worse than the government because they don't even think about the people. Everybody thinks about themselves. The greed and selfishness in the society is terrible. It's alarming. So people think about themselves first before any other person. So until we face that reality, now the people come first. I remember what the wife of the president said when after the swearing in. He said, "Oh, they have not come to spend Nigerian money. They have their own money to spend." But we know how much is being budgeted every year for Mr. President. We also know that as at the time they came to power, there was a supplementary budget of which he was a beneficiary. So in one breath, you say one thing, in another breath, you're doing a different thing. The unfortunate thing is that our leaders are cut away from the people. They don't understand what the people are really going through.
They don't understand. Is
They
that
don't
the
want to understand.
okay? Well, because I was thinking, is that the proper word? They do.
They don't want to understand
They,
because
because they know
you
it.
need to go out there and feel the pulse of the people. You don't sit in an air-conditioned house and you say, "Oh, all is well," when all is not well.
Because I think these people know it.
Was it yesterday or so? You know, a friend of mine was like saying, you know, well, we're in an air-conditioned room, so we didn't know what to. He came in and said, "Oh God, who opened the doors of hell?" And we were like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Step out, you understand." And the sun was scorching. It was something else. Now, for those of us who were in the room, we didn't understand what he was saying. It was, as far as I was saying, he was talking rubbish. So that is what is wrong with our politicians. A conditioned house, a conditioned car, a conditioned office. They do not want to understand what the other Nigerians are going through.
And these people have advisors, these people have PAs, these people have other people that, even if they themselves do not relate with the people, they don't go out there. These people should be the ones that will tell them this is what we're experiencing outside. What happens to that?
People are after their own pockets.
So,
It's all about dog chop dog.
what's the point? What's the point of having a special advisor that cannot advise you?
The special advisor needs to advise himself first. He needs to take care of his own stomach. He needs to be sure where the next meal is coming from.
Because my understanding is you have somebody, and then because you are somewhere you cannot see everything, this person sees it and tells you. But here it seems as if once you have an advisor, the advisor is okay, he has come for settlement, and that's the end. He doesn't say anything to you, especially the things that he feels that you don't want to hear.
It's not that the things you don't want to hear. It's about how well you put it. You need to, the reason why you are a social advisor is that whatever you're telling your principal, you have looked at it so well, and you must be able to convince him. But assuming that you're a social advisor and you're not convinced about something, or you refuse to convince yourself about something, how will you convince your principal?
I mean, it's a scary thing that people cannot be held accountable for what they do, and
The problem is lack of accountability in governance.
we've seen that in the Senate as well, where someone who rose to speak out against a particular thing is always suspended. You say something that you think is not right, you're suspended. You say something that it will be beneficial to Nigerians, you're suspended. And so every other person is gagged, which means nobody just wants to hear anything that is negative.
You see, we have a system where, like I said, most of the people in the Senate are people who believe in impunity, especially the ex-governors. While they were governors, what did they achieve? What did they do? How did they manage their states? A lot of them as governors were dictators. So it is that same mindset they have moved to the National Assembly.
God help
And then
us.
when you have a National Assembly that on its own could not elect its principal officers, how do you want them to be accountable? When the process of recalling that same man, you stood under the sun, under the rain to vote, it's like passing through the eye of a needle. So the man, once he's elected, he believes he's above you. It's like you employing a manager, and then the next the manager tells you, sir, you cannot sign check because I have to be the one signing them. That is where we are in Nigeria today. You elect people, ordinary councillors you go and kill to elect. The next day they're like demigods. So it's a vicious circle. That's what it is.
Did Akpabio your contest election?
That is so
Okay, then let's leave it. Now, federal government rejects northern governor's call to suspend mining because of the banditry crisis. So,
I keep asking, nobody has, on all the revenue that we're getting from FAD, all the information, I'm not seeing mining mentioned, how much we have generated from mining. We know that, oh, you can say we have generated this much from petroleum. But how much have we generated from mining? And who are these people mining? Who are the miners? When the governor said they were going to suspend mining, I asked one question. Are these official miners or illegal miners? We need to know who the miners are. Are they government recognized miners? And if they are, what happens to the things they mine? Who takes them? In what book are they recorded? We all know that there's a lot of illegal mining going on in the north. So if the northern state governors are saying, we want to stop this illegal mining for some period, and the federal government is saying no, which you also know that illegal mining is part of the reason why people are being chased away from their ancestral homes. So the government needs to come in and tell us, who are these miners? And how have they been able to add value to our commonwealth?
Okay, let's digress a bit. This may not be the headline for today, but it's something really worrisome in the educational sector. There's been a research that from the longest of time, the only generation that has managed to be less intelligent than the previous generation is the Gen Z. And they're attributing this to technology. And I don't know how that makes you feel, because a lot of people argue that technology is helping people learn faster and do things better and all that. And this study has shown that technology is destroying education.
Well, technology for me has everything that has the good side also has the bad side. Yes, technology has helped in terms of medical lines, in terms of infotech, and all of that. But it is making Gen Zs lazy. A lot of them don't read anymore. A lot of them spend all their time. I mean, have you ever seen two Gen Zs go on a date? You just see them sit down and they're busy. They're there, but they're busy pressing their phones. So their life has been, they've become more like robots. That communication you used to have, even among their parents. Some of them will be on the dining table and they're pressing their phones. Some of them will be in the same house with their parents and they're using their phones to communicate to their parents.
It's really disturbing.
On the other hand, it is eroding away our culture and our tradition, which is the most dangerous side of it. Our culture and our tradition has been eroded.
I feel really worried, because if we raise an entire generation that cannot think for itself, they only think what people have thought for them, and they cannot read anything in depth. They just browse, because that's what it is, a summary of everything on the internet. And in 1 hour, you've gone through about 1,000 things, nothing in depth. You're just seeing this, you're laughing here, you're doing this and that. And especially in Nigeria, the algorithm in Nigeria is like, it brings to you only things that do not have anything to do with development or the future or anything.
That is why a lot of our Gen Zs are on Instagram, TikTok. What are they doing there?
They say they're making money.
What money are they making? You see, we like I said, our culture and our tradition is being eroded. Everybody, every Gen Z is on the fast lane. Everything is about get rich quick. And that is why if you go to the southeast, you have different, what do you call them? Different, in Lagos they call them babalawo. In the south they call them all this
Dibia.
Because you see the Dibias themselves advertising themselves on social media. society where people just do what they want to do.
Well,
If you put up an article, say you're putting up an article on drug abuse, put it up on social media, the Gen Zs will not comment on it.
if it
They
is,
will not even read it.
especially if it is more than 5 paragraphs.
You will not even read it. Talk less of looking at it. But just put up your mood.
Dear
Put
God.
up something saying you can make one, you can convert, you can use 1,000 to get 1 billion. Or you put up something and say, oh, you're going to do a giveaway.
And we, the parents, feel it's something to show class if, as soon as possible, you give your child an Android phone to be browsing through and all that. And the funny thing is, I've seen that some of the greatest tech giants do not allow their children to use these devices too early. But we who are buying from them are the ones that are giving at 5 years, 2 years.
How many, let us also be honest with ourselves. First of all, family values are broken. It's actually vanishing. Because you have a mother and a father right now in Nigeria, all they think about is survival. How to put food on the table, how to put a roof over their head, how to pay school fees. So the mother and father is consumed by the stress of surviving. That's on one hand.
So instead of playing with your child, you just give the gadget to the child. Let the gadget be entertaining the child, and that's all. The bond is no longer
So,
there.
whether we like it or not, there's nothing like middle class in Nigeria. You're either rich or you're poor. And poverty has taken very large chunk. So when people are poor, what do you think? They look for something to get them out of that misery. Even if it is for 30 minutes, 10 minutes. And that is why we're talking about gadgets. We should also talk about the fact that a lot of these young people are getting hooked to drugs. The menace that the drug abuse is causing, substance abuse is causing, is something we should look into. Because when you have no job, you have nothing to do, you're looking for solace, you're looking for how to, you just find a lot of young people getting into drugs. And the people who are bringing drugs into the country are not relenting. On a daily basis, at international airports, and the seaports, and the land borders, people are being arrested for bringing in drugs.
Another worrisome thing is you go to a place where you're supposed to get some solace, some counseling, and some things, and they're encouraging you to steal. I'm talking about churches now, because in some churches you go to, they tell you that to be poor is a sin. And for you to show that you are not a sinner, you have to do everything, whether legal or illegal, to make that money and come and do Thanksgiving in church. It doesn't seem to help us. So the family has broken down. The family has broken down. The spiritual houses have broken down. So where do we go to?
You see, the whole thing started with prosperity preaching. When we started talking about prosperity, we started talking about healing. We moved away from morality. A lot of churches today have become hospitals in quotes. And so you stand on the, like I keep saying, you stand on the pulpit and you're telling somebody who does not have a school cert, somebody who does not have the opposite experience, and you're saying to the person, I see you becoming a billionaire. I see you being employed by the NNPC. I see you as a director. That is where the problem started from. So, we say, for the religious institutions, we need to go back to the basics. And that basics means we need to forget all this grammar and begin to teach morality. Draw the people back morals. And the parents have a lot of duty to do. They have a lot to do. Parents have abandoned their responsibilities. It's so shameful these days. You see a young girl of 15, 16 years, 17 years going out, and the mother will say, buy something for me when you're coming back. Where is she going to get the money from? So a lot of parents are in the forefront encouraging their children to go into all manner of ills, prostitution, drug abuse, 419, yahoo, because parents themselves have lost it. And then you see a young girl who has not been brought up by her parents very well, getting pregnant, and you expect her to bring up the child in a good way. Nigeria is faced with a lot of problems. In one hand, we have parents who are not parenting at all. We have what I call runaway fathers. You have no intention of marrying somebody, or you have no intention of training children to go and pregnant a lady, and you disappear. We have a problem of too many single mothers. So today in Nigeria, single motherhood is becoming a way of life. Then you have a set of people, all they do is looking for who will give them 2K. They call it urgent 2K. Living off of other people. You don't want to work. And then when you talk, they tell you there is no work. So the government has failed the people. The government is supposed to create an enabling environment for companies, organizations, businesses to flourish, to create employment. And that's why I've always said that this whole thing of saying money transfer, you're alleviating people's poverty by giving them 25,000 every month, it's a no-no.
It's a scam. I know that one is a scam.
All you need to do, if you bring all that money together and you set up cottage industries, those industries will grow and create more industries and create more employment. So sometimes, I mean, it's like somebody who says he wants to empower youths in his community and is giving them wheelbarrow. Some are buying ropes.
Or shoe mending thing. I've seen ones where they give cutlasses to people. That was empowerment. As if as
the people accept it happily. When the people should use it and stone them.
it's really terrible. It's terrible. We just
If you
needed
look
to.
at the empowerment that Senator Natasha did. He said, that is what empowerment is. Get people trained in specific areas, and you do a startup for them. That is empowerment. You don't come out and distribute bread and you say you're empowering people. You distribute food items, you say you're empowering people. You're not empowering people.
Or even buy sewing machines for them, hair dryers and all that, without training them.
It's
A
not
lot.
about they will sell it.
A lot of people don't go home with them. They don't go home with them. They just sell it on the field there and then move.
So
Next year they will come
this
again.
Is why I say, for me, you have governors. We should throw away these constituency projects for national assembly. It's just a drain pipe. This whole issue about security vote should be stopped, because we don't know the security vote. People are being killed on a daily basis. So what are the governors doing with the money? And that money is not accounted for. We have a lot of issues to address in this country.
It's a serious case. Very, very serious. Anyway, let us just open the lines right now so that people will talk. And as usual, we'll just keep you here in case we have a response that we'd like from you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're opening the line. Sorry that we had to digress, but there's some things that really need to be talked about, whether you're a parent, you're a child, or anything. And as we talked about Gen Z today, it has become a pride for this generation to say, we don't take nonsense, we don't do this, we don't do that. And I don't know. Being what they are right now is a sort of pride to them, because actually they don't know better. They don't know how life should be or used to be. And they say anybody who talks about how life used to be is living in the past. But is the present better? than the past. We need to talk about these things. If you're a father or mother that takes pride in your child is 2 years and you're giving iPhone to the child so that people will see that you guys have money, you're living above the means of every other person around you, a past my neighbor syndrome. And, we're destroying our kids. And then the worst is that you say, this generation is like that, without taking responsibility that, okay, this one I did wrong, or how can I do better? You say this generation is like that. There are still people in this generation that are raising their children well. And then the unfortunate thing is that these people who are being raised well will meet your child who you raised wrongly. And there will be, as we say, kata kata. We don't want that. So be mindful what you do. Do not just condemn your children to the fate of a generation that has decided not to ever take anything as seriously as they should take it. Okay, we're opening the lines now. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903, and we also have 080 3692 9933 080 3692 9933, or for WhatsApp it's 081 71756338 081 71756338. Don't forget, we're talking headlines. It's front page review. Not because we just talked about what is happening to our Gen Z and the research, the result of the research. No, go back to the headlines and let's hear what you have to say. Okay, let's begin with this. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mr. Yango. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
How are you, sir? How's the night?
Fine.
Fine, thank you. I listened to Rufai Oseni when he was talking about that electronic voting, and I had to go and do a research on it. I had to go and search the internet for it, and I found the newspaper. And I shared it with a friend of mine who is an APC supporter, and the next thing he told me was, go and sit down. So I asked, what changed? Really, what changed? Because you are the people that clamored for electronic voting. Why is it now that we want electronic voting, you also you don't want it? It doesn't make sense. I was talking to a lawyer friend of mine yesterday who is a barrister. He told me that the last election that they did to select the leadership in the Nigerian Bar Association, whatever, they voted from the comfort of their home. They didn't have to travel to go and do voting. So I don't understand why we can't do electronic. I don't get in this age. This is 2026. People are doing electronic voting. People are doing internet. At this time, we still want to be manual. And the budget for the 2027 election alone.
Okay. Well, NBA did their election without having to be physical there. Thank you very much. We couldn't hear you at the end of or towards the end of whatever you were saying, so we cut you off. We understand you were still talking, but we couldn't hear you anymore. But thank you for your contribution this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Good morning to you. Sometimes I try to pick these calls and they don't want to be picked. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mr. Yango, how are you?
I'm fine. Good morning to you.
Yeah, this is Babu.
Babu, go ahead.
Yeah, you see, many Nigerians worship money. Instead of saying the truth, corruption breeds more corruption. We celebrate honorable people instead of calling the police, and we despise the humble ones. Okay, look at what is happening in Abuja now. There are people I'm expecting to be in Abuja today, fighting for what we are fighting for. We are here blowing grammar. We speak English, talk big English. The big English is not saving us. At the end, we'll collect 1 cup of garri, 1 cup of rice, 1 cup of beans, and 5,000 naira for another 4 years. When I saw our former president, Jonathan, talking, And I'm happy again to see Peter Obi there talking. Where is Atiku? Where is Rufai and Co? These are people that will join. They will know, yes, we have a standard people at the end. What is happening? Only to come and talk taka on the phone and media and whatever. Thank you, my dear. Bye.
Thank you, and goodbye. Have a wonderful day. All right, call us and let's hear you talk. Okay, let me take a message. Let me take a message from how will I even call him? From a friend of ours. We know him as AB from Ekwe. He's a very good friend. He said it is even laughable to commonize infrastructure, but yet people are using the Lagos-Calabar road now. AB from Ekwe. So I don't know.
You know, some people don't think out of the box. If you build the best roads and you don't have the people to use those roads out of hunger, out of bad governance, you achieve anything.
He said people are using it now.
The first thing every human being wants is food. The next thing is a roof over their head. And if in a society where people cannot get this food to start with, they are no less than animals. So I know that AB is one of those that is collecting data money and they use it to justify everything. But the same AB, are you buying fuel from a different filling station? Do you have any special market where you buy foodstuffs? Maybe you do, but the truth of the matter is that we all need to be truthful to ourselves. Maybe your own transport, like when you want to go out, there's a particular bus written for APC members solely.
Well, as of 2026, it is officially it is about 47 to 48 kilometers of this road, and the road is supposed to be about 700 to 800 kilometers, which means basically it's still the Lagos people alone that are using this road, and that's what AB is saying is a very good thing that should be done. Money that has already entered into the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway is something we cannot even quantify. That could have addressed a lot of problems that we are facing right now. We should be going to the coastal road now. If you're going to Ibafo or Mowe, you go to the coastal road and take it and all that. But, well, that's as far as he understands, and we respect that. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Nangu.
Good morning.
And good morning, Prince Chilaka. This is John Legend calling from Mushi. I don't want to talk about AB because if I'm talking about him, it's like he's been the headline of the news, because I know he's kind of a person. If we are talking about AB here, we are talking as if that, I don't know, we just reason like him. So let's just forget about all those kind of human beings. What I'm trying to say is this. The reason why the APC don't want this electoral this thing to work, to be on existence, is because they know they are capital failures. Look at the governor of Imo State. How did he enter as a governor? The Senate president, how was he elected as the Senate president? Because they know that without ganging up the criminals in Nigeria, without ganging all of them together, so that they can sell Nigeria and put the remaining in their pockets. That is why all of them are gathered together, planning evil against Nigerians, because they know that they cannot even win a councillorship in there. If President Tinubu is a real president, if he is the Jagaban of Lagos State, why didn't he win Lagos State? He was a governor. Why didn't he win Abuja? Why didn't he win? Is in his state where he comes from? So when somebody is talking that he's the Jagaban of Lagos State, it makes me angry, because if you are a Jagaban, as charities begins at home, that is what I know for. You can see the people, the governor people elect in Abia State, the people's choice, how he is working. Where out of the whole 36 local state in Nigeria, it was only Abia State that was elected by the people. and he is working for the people. So as long as you are not elected, you are choosing, you will work as someone that is choosing, because you have already have the people that have choose to you, and you must satisfy the people that have choose to you before you know the people that bring you to power. You first always satisfy them. Now the people satisfy Abia State, people make their choice and they put their governor, and the governor is working for Abia State. And that is why Peter Obi is fighting for this president. Let people make their choice. If there is a level grand election, if you win me, I know that you win me. I will go home and relax. There's no need of going to court. But as long as we know that there was no election, that is why we are seeing all this katakata everywhere in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Hello, good morning. Okay. Well, why are we finding it difficult? Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, this is Emeka from Ogun State.
Emeka, go ahead.
I know you can hear me, but I can't hear you very well.
Okay, I can hear you. Go on.
Now, what I want to say is that all these protests they are doing is very, very good. But after doing all this process, all these protests, on the day of voting, the people that will handle the machine, are they not the problem we are going to have? Because Bobby tell us last time that what money cannot do, more money will do it. So the people that will handle the machines, are they not the network problems? Are they not going to use money to do what, to give them to makes the network not to function very well, and things will still go to their own favor? The issue is the people that always be there to handle those things, and they even the people they invite to handle those machines, they are the problem. Not that maybe this network they're talking about handle those things. The machineries, they know how to handle those things properly, so that those things cannot go to the favor of the people of Nigeria. So please, as I do vote, let them put into all those things. And all those Rufai were talking about this morning, let them put mind to all those things so that everything will be in order before any other. Let them not do the protest only one side. Let them do in everything so that there will not be any gap for them to ring the election. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's a good angle. The training should start on time for the people, because it's always a crash program.
Let me put it this way. Over time, you find out that those who are responsible, those which actually should hold responsible, with all the shenanigans going on with the elections, are the professors. we all tend to forget them, but they are mostly the problem.
And immediately after the election, they protest. They go on strike in their various institutions.
And then they will come and say, oh, government is not honoring our agreement. But they forget that they have also been part of those who have helped to, put the wrong people in office.
But will they have that much power if electronic transmission is mandated?
Well, they may not, but the truth of the matter is that, if you stand your grounds as electoral officer, nothing can go wrong. You saw the one that happened. You saw the woman, the professor in Abia State.
Yeah.
She stood her grounds. How many of Nigerian professors can do that? How many? So they too need to go back and reappraise themselves. And also the youth service, the youth corpus that they use, they too need to think twice.
Well, but some of these people, to be fair to them, they don't even make the money, but they are threatened for their life.
Let me ask you
one question. We're talking security.
When you talk about the kidnapping going on in Nigeria and the kind of people they arrest, do those people look like people that have seen 1 million naira?
No.
Good. I leave the case.
Some of them don't even look like they've eaten for a whole day.
And that's my case.
When they arrest them. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Yangu, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Prince Chilaka, good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
My name is Daniel. I'm calling from Alaba.
Daniel, go ahead.
My own take is that Akpabio and the House of Senate should know that they are working for Nigerians, not Nigeria working for them. We employ them to work for us. So they must do what we want. So what we want is this. we want to vote in our home, as I'm calling you right now, at least let me vote that day in my comfort house. Then let the result be transmitted directly. That's how Ghana used to do it. And I would like them to do all the whole election one day. Who can do it? If we can be answering the end of Africa, who can do all these things? It's not a science rocket now. How are they doing it in Ghana? One day I was in Ghana where they conduct their own election. That day they did everything. You can work in the MTN office if you don't have a phone. You go to the MTN office and vote. Then you are calling to tell us that we need to go back to old model while people are moving to new model. Nigeria is still doing things left. Hi. Nah, he must do it. Let the electoral reform be reformed now. Thank God that Obi is out. If Atiku like, let him run, go to Dubai. But Rufai should come out. Where they call Amechi them. Why are they hiding? I thought that they want to contest. Where are them again? This is the time the opposition should come out and speak now for Nigerians. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Mr. Yangu, good morning.
Good morning.
My brother Prince, God bless you, sir.
Bless you too, sir.
My name is Pastor Ifeanyi, calling you from Ichagamo.
Okay.
Yeah. Please, what I just like the last second to the last caller said, that are they going to, what are people that are going to be in the electoral district holding the material and the transmission of that result? Please, what we want that let them sign it first. Let them put it into law. That's what they use and knock out people be election. That is not they can change at any time they like. That is their discussion. Please let them sign it into law first. In the polling booth that day, we'll sort it out for ourselves. We'll sort it. The public will sort it out. So if they don't want to transmit it, we will transmit it for ourselves. So there are some people that knows computer more than those people that are handling it. So they will sort it out and transmit that result. So our own is for them to what? Put it into law. What they are doing now is that they are rushing it because it's going to affect them seriously. So let them put it into law. If he win, if he didn't win, you know that he didn't win. Simple. And it will rest all this court issue, going to court, going to this. Yes, because you saw it on the screen that he didn't win. So that is the best thing they can do for this Nigeria, this 2027 election. Please let them sign it. Let them sign it. It's not difficult. Let them sign it. Let them sign it.
All right.
So that's the thing. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay.
Yango, you know the interesting part, something that baffles me is the fact that when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came to power, a lot of us said, "Oh, okay, you have a Democrat." But going down the lane, we haven't seen any democracy in practice. And then I keep asking, was all that story about being a Democrat, was it just something to, placate the people with? Because as a Democrat, I expected that he would be in the forefront to champion for situations, to champion for a process that would allow for, us to have a credible, free, and fair election. But I'm not saying that. And that's why I'm worried. Especially with people who come to power via activism.
Okay, well, hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. I'm good.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. Good
morning. Good morning.
Is Israel Love calling from Moshud?
Give us some love. Go on.
May God bless you.
Amen.
Okay, what I want to say is concerning the yesterday protest. I was hoping to for the tough leaders, even the people that say they are that. I was hoping to see them yesterday, but I didn't see them. Because I could remember during a good luck time, most of them were protesting that he should step down, he should come down, he should do this, he should do that. So why are they not doing it now? Why is it hard for them to come out and protest? Why is it hard? The after work they love it, so they are no more there. They don't know the road to that place again. I didn't even see Atiku. I been done travel. No say they had them to travel go outside country. We know that one. Now their way. That is my own. They should come out and protest. Not when is it because of his their own brother now? Now they are not doing. I don't know what is going on. Understand them. God bless you, my brother.
God bless you too, Vivian Love. Okay. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes, sir.
This is Mr. Wabeza from Oshodi.
All right. Go on, Wabeza.
One thing I want to correct. Let's not be much concerned with those who didn't attend the protest. Because this particular protest is different from that of Jonathan time. That of Jonathan time was it was just connivance. But this is about reality. That's why you see in the masses there. So those who came out, they matter most. Those who did not come, maybe they have their reasons, genuine or not genuine. We should not be worried much about that. But let us focus on our goal. And if that goal is achieved, I encourage all those people around Abuja to turn out to the National Assembly today. Let them occupy National Assembly, waiting for by the time these legislators see the concern of the citizens, the reading and the social media, they will know that we are not joking. It's not about any individual person. It's about the generality of the people. What concerns Nigeria should be more important to us than what concerns us individually. Please, let us not worry about Atiku did not come, Rufai did not come. Let them not come. Even if people didn't come, we're not, like Mr. Tony Mbata used to say, it's a fight between the masses and the ruling government. Because they're not giving us what we want. And this electoral reform is for the benefit of the country in future, not just for now. But the selfishness interest of the people, of the rulers, is making them not to understand why we are clamoring for this change in pattern of voting. Because in Lagos State, in the last dispensation, we know what went on. How people were deprived. In a police station near my place, I saw where an elderly man was lifted up and dropped on the floor. The man was sitting and he was voted. And these miscreants were disturbing, preventing him from doing so. But if they apply the electoral process, people can, the electronic process, people can do it from the comfort of their homes. And we get what we want. And everybody will benefit from it. Thank you. God bless us.
Thank you. It may not be possible for...
No, I think it's getting it all wrong. Well,
yeah, it may not
what
be
we're
possible
talking about
to
is not the process of how to vote. What we're talking about is the process of how the result of the election is made available.
Yeah.
So it's not about whether you're going to be in your house to vote. No. You must still come out to vote. But what we're talking about is how do the results get to the...
Yes, because last time people voted and it was counted at the polling units. But when it got to to the collation centers, everything changed.
You see, the thing is, when the results are moving from the ward to the local government, it changes. From the local government to the state, it changes.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we're saying, once we vote at the ward, just push it in.
Yeah. So let's just correct that. It may not be that we're fighting for people to vote from home. We're fighting for anywhere you go to vote, let that vote count. Because, okay, there was a viral video at the last election, 72, that, 72. And, I'm not sure even from that polling unit, the person who had the highest vote won when it got to the national for collation. So that's what we're saying. When you vote there, you stay there, they count your votes, you know what it is, they send it to the IREV, you can confirm on your phone because IREV is a portal that is open to the public, you confirm, and then you go home. Nobody can change that anymore because everybody will have evidences. And like Rufai was saying, if you take it to court, the court can admit it as evidence and use it. But last time they couldn't use it because it was left at the discretion of INEC. So that's what we are clamoring for, not necessarily voting from home. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Yamgu.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm fine this morning.
My name is Grandma Favor from Ikorodu.
Oh, Grandma, thanks for calling. Go on.
Oh, how are you?
Cool.
I have two things to talk about. You see this, my mother used to give me one advice. He said, anyone that killed with a sword will never allow a sword to pass through the head. That is what this government is doing. They have done this before to another person, and they are trying to block every loophole where they can be defeated. But unfortunately for them, God Almighty is up there watching them. I do not believe that APC will go anywhere with what they are doing now. If Nigerians, because I don't think the war now is between APC and Obi or APC and Atiku. It's APC and the masses. That is if we are serious to let them go. That is one. The second one is about this Gen Z issue. I'm so happy Mr. Prince Chilaka spoke about it. I refuse to give my children phone. Up till now, I still have one in JS3 who has been clamoring. They are doing so. It is because Nigerians, they have refused to train good teachers. I remember when we went to school, I read 7 years in primary school. I'm now 74 years old. 7 years in primary school, secondary school, and I spent 4 years in the university. So I don't know what is really happening with this government, and they are teaching them these things to do Yahoo, to get quick money, and that is why they are spoiling them. They are inculcating them into teaching them how to make money, and they are now giving them corruption money. They are using them to go and protest. Like yesterday, they brought a bus load of thugs to come and face them, but they met their match. So what I am saying is that we should just all come out and vote, and government should try. We should try and insist on this e-transmission. That is the only thing that can save the situation. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you very much. Okay, so let's take a final call before we take a break. Hello, good morning.
Yango.
Yes, sir.
How are you, sir? How's everything?
Fine. Good
My
morning.
name is Olatunde Mekudi from Abuja Sule.
All right.
My take is, I don't think Nigeria now, the youth is about, the youth occupy about 65% of this population. But most of these youth are not going to get their PVC. Most of them are just clocking 18 years now. So they are eligible to get their PVC. Well, we always advocate for these people. They are not going. Well, I don't have time. I don't do this. And we are saying we want to take back our country. So it's left to them. So number two, I heard Prince Ilaka talking about arrest during for this banditry and terrorists. They look like person will never chop. You see, one of our sister, the one that was kidnapped in Kwara, because I'm from Kwara State. So Auntie Shaki told us that when she was in the captivity of these people, so they said there was a brand new Jeep. Every time come with full AC. They will bring they'll bring jollof rice and chicken, all this nourishable, delicious for these kidnappers. They are holding AK-49, AK-47 guns. So after that, all the ransom they are taking, those Jeep, brand new car, will come and take away the money from them. So that means there are some people using those guys. Those guys are ignorant, killing people for nothing. They are just giving them stipend.
All right.
So you see, I'm surprised.
Thank you. Unfortunately, we cannot take more than that. Prince Silak, I would like to say thank you to you for coming this morning.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, we'll be back at 10:30 to continue with the front page review. We'll have to take a break now. Thank you for being there. My name is Nyamgul Agaji.
Hey, my people, how things they go? God